All right, we begin tonight with the killing of at least 5 traditional rulers and abduction of others in Imo State. It's being reported that they were killed during an attack by gunmen at a local community in Njaba local government area. The traditional rulers, numbering more than 20, were in a meeting at the local government headquarters when gunmen invaded the place and interrupted the meeting with sporadic gunshots. 5 of them were killed on the spot. Sources said those who sustained heavy gunshot injuries have been rushed to nearby hospitals for treatment, while others fled. Although the police confirmed the development, it says it's yet to get the full details of the incident.
Well, the situation is very pathetic. The situation is condemnable. This is a new dimension to the banditry in the state, where they have to now begin to attack traditional rulers gathered in a hall.
Well, to discuss this ugly development and the growing insecurity in the southeast of the country, expert on security matters, Dr. Kabiru Adamu, joins us remotely. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight. Well, like you heard the governor there, Hope Uzodinma, say this is another dimension to the violence that has, engulfed Imo State and the southeast as a whole. What do you think could be the motive for this, unexplainable killings? Who are the perpetrators? They continue to be called unknown gunmen. And what are the implications for the southeast?
Good evening, Ngozi and Indy. So from the beginning of September through into October, we have been recording this type of incidents in particularly Imo, to an extent Anambra, and then Ebonyi State, where persons of authority who are either perceived to be associated with the government or participating in the upcoming elections, for example, in Anambra State, or the events that could lead to the election. In other words, like campaigns and other activities have been targeted. Now, even persons, for instance, who have been perceived to be involved in the facilitation of the elections or in campaigns for political parties have been targeted. Now, even though the name of the indigenous people of Biafra has been flagged, the police have severally, as well as other government agencies, have flagged and indicated that they are behind this, or their armed wing, which is the Insecurity network, are behind this. They on themselves have denied involvement in several instances. However, the general belief and perspective is that it's only such a group that has this type of capability that would be behind such attacks. Now, in this particular instance, IPOP has not released a report either to claim or to deny involvement, but several analysts have indicated that they believe it's likely to have a hand in that attack. Now, we don't know yet what the purpose of that meeting is. If it turns out that the purpose is something to do perhaps with government action or activity, then it's very likely that it could be IPOP that's behind that attack.
All right, Kabiru, is it possible that the federal government, security operatives, and the governors and leaders in the southeast can hold a joint security meeting to discuss, this matter and find the solution once and for all? Could that be what should be done? Could that happen?
It's absolutely necessary that should happen. Livelihoods are being affected in the southeast. The economy of the southeast is being affected, the local economy. Now, whoever is behind this, whether wittingly or unwittingly, is destroying the economy of the southeast. Now, if we use this week as an example, yesterday was the enforced sit at home, which largely has seen a significant percentage of compliance. Then today, it was a public holiday. Most places were closed down. Tomorrow, it's likely to be, maybe people work, maybe they wouldn't. But then on Thursday, which is likely to see the date of the trial of the leader of the group, is also likely to be another tricky day. So this week is likely to be almost, not like a work-free week for the Southeast. So imagine the impact that will have on the economy of the Southeast. So there is an absolute need for social order to be returned, for law and order to be enhanced, so that livelihoods would return. Otherwise, the consequences for the Southwest would be disastrous. Now, if, for instance, IPOP is doing this unwittingly or unknowingly, I think it's high time they wake up. You cannot be doing this to the same people that you claim to be fighting to represent. It's not logical, really.
And Kabir Adamu, so much has been said about the need to not only use force in terms of the so-called kinetic and non-kinetic approach. Barely 2 weeks since the launch of Operation Golden Dawn in Imo State and, of course, the rest of the Southeast. Now, this is happening. Is it an indication that this operation could be worsening, the security situation in the Southeast? If that is the case, what should be done now? Should that operation be, stalled? Should it be put on hold, or what? What are the options?
Yeah, so beyond the Operation Golden Dawn, the police is also implementing its own operation. I think Operation Restore Order or something like that. That was launched by the Inspector General of Police a couple of months ago. Now, the reality is that based on the incident tracker that my consultancy maintained, we have seen a significant reduction in the number of fatalities in the Southeast. But then that is just in the number of fatalities. Social order and law and order itself has not been restored, despite the significant security deployment to that. So the question is, how do you restore social order? And frankly, the answer is not just by deployment of security forces and this type of security operations. You have to also embark on peace-building mechanisms, identify the drivers of insecurity, identify the sources of insecurity, and then implement measures to either change or redirect these drivers of insecurity. Now, in this instance, we're talking of social, especially political, social, and economic grievance that is driving significant portions of the population to either embrace or to give, turn, as it were, an eye regarding the activities of some of these non-state actors. We've had a sitting senator indicating that there could be 30 of such groups. Now, just today, we saw one of the groups indicating that it will open another battlefront in the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon. So clearly, the dynamics are changing and the issues are fast unfolding in a manner that need to be addressed, in better than they are being addressed at the moment. And so the point I'm trying to make is that it's not just kinetic force. There is need to embark on political as well as other peace-building mechanisms that would reduce the kind of tension that is there in the Southeast at the moment.
All right, Kabiru, it just started like a drop, in a bucket. Do you think the leaders in the East have really seen this for what it really is and called it, or they're pointing accusing fingers at what some are calling extraneous forces? And then again, do you think there's a relationship between this, a nexus between this and Nnamdi Kanu's trial?
Very likely. As we know, the trial is coming up, and I mentioned a group today that indicated that part of why it's going to do what it's going to do in the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon is because of the way Nnamdi Kanu is being handled. And so there is a need, for instance, to handle that trial in a manner that shows transparency and, in fact, speedily, so that at least a very transparent conclusion is arrived. If he's guilty, he should be pronounced guilty. If he's not guilty, he should be pronounced as such and released. But let the courts move fast so that justice is served in a manner that is convincing to everyone. Otherwise, unfortunately, it has become a platform and a basis for mobilization, whether rightly or wrongly it has become that, and that's what we need to correct. The narrative needs to be taken out from where it is at the moment, and the sole responsibility for this is the judiciary.
Really unfortunate. And one is wondering, I mean, Anambra elections right around the corner, November 6th. What are the implications of this general situation in the Southeast for the Anambra elections? And would you say, with this attack on 20 or so traditional rulers, is it a direct attack on the traditional institutions? What do you make of all of this? And of course, that implication for the election in Anambra?
So let me start from your last point. I mean, there's no other way to put this but that it is a direct attack on traditional institutions. 20 members of that institution were in a meeting, and that meeting was attacked, and several of them killed, others injured. So anyone who did that, whether knowingly or unknowingly, has defied an institution that is revered in the country. There is no part of Nigeria that does not revere its traditional rulers. And this is a desecration of a culture that we hold dear. So whoever is behind this is frankly against the Nigerian people, irrespective of what ethnicity or religion, as it were, in the country. Now, with regards to the election coming up in Anambra, the huge implication is whether, given the circumstances and the possibility that we would see increased security deployment. Already the police has indicated it will deploy about 34,000. The military has indicated a certain number. Likewise, the other several security bodies of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security would also deploy. So we're likely to see massive deployment. Now, will there be free, fair atmosphere for elections in Anambra State? But then it's a catch-22 situation. If they don't deploy, then would people have the peace of mind to go out and elect? And this is why I mentioned peace-building measures would have to be embarked upon as speedily as possible, side by side with ensuring that justice is served to the leader of IPOB in a speedy and transparent manner. Perhaps if this is done, the atmosphere that would allow free and fair conduct of the elections would exist.
All right, Dr. Kabiru Adebudaya, security expert, thank you for being on the program.